My child, I know you've been wondering why certain people suddenly left your life. Why the ones you trusted disappeared when you needed them most. Why the ones you prayed to stay walked away. You thought losing them was punishment. But it wasn't. It was protection. I saw what you couldn't see. I heard conversations you were never meant to hear. I witnessed intentions hidden behind smiles. I watched hearts that looked pure on the outside, but were slowly breaking yours from within. You cried asking me, "Why did you take them away, Lord?" And I whispered, "Because they were blocking what I was trying to give you." You see, not every person who enters your life is meant to stay. Some are there to teach you, some to test you, and some to reveal parts of yourself you didn't even know existed. But when their purpose ends, I remove them, not because I want to hurt you, but because I want to heal you. You asked me for peace, yet held on to chaos. You prayed for clarity, yet refused to let go of confusion. You begged for growth, but wanted to keep those who refused to grow with you. So I stepped in. I took away what was quietly destroying you. And I know it broke you. You looked at empty spaces where they once stood and felt abandoned. You stared at unanswered messages and felt unwanted. But what you didn't see was that I was standing right there, collecting every tear you shed, turning your heartbreak into holy ground. I never remove something without reason. I never close a door unless I've already opened another one ahead. But sometimes I have to let you walk through the silence before you can hear my voice clearly again. Do you remember how distracted you became? How your prayers turned into whispers? And your focus drifted from me to them? You began to measure your worth by their attention. You forgot that your identity wasn't found in their approval. It was found in my love. That's why I had to step in. Not to punish you, but to rescue you. When I took them out of your life, I was removing what was keeping you from me. Because I saw how much of yourself you were giving away. How you kept pouring into hearts that only took, never filled. You were being drained, my child. You were giving your best to people who never intended to stay. And I couldn't watch you destroy yourself trying to keep temporary souls in permanent places. I know you thought they were the one. I know you thought that friendship was forever. I know you believed that connection was divine. But not everything good is God ordained. Some things look right, sound right, even feel right. But they lead you further from the destiny I've written for you. So I had to end it. I had to pull you away before you lost yourself completely. You may not understand it now, but one day you'll thank me. You'll look back and say, "If they hadn't left, I would have never discovered who I truly was." Because when they left, you found me again. When they stopped answering, you started praying again. When they turned away, you turned inward and found me waiting for you. That's the beauty of divine separation. What feels like loss is often just my way of realignment. I wasn't removing people to empty your life. I was making space for better ones. For those who will pray for you, not prey on you. For those who will celebrate your growth, not compete with it. For those who will stand beside you when the world turns its back. Every goodbye I allowed was actually a thank you in disguise. A thank you for saving you from what would have broken you beyond repair. You don't see the full picture yet, but I do. You don't understand the why, but I hold the when and how. Some people were only meant to walk with you to a certain chapter. If they stayed longer, they would have rewritten the story I had planned. And I couldn't allow that. Because I love you too much to let anyone rewrite the destiny I designed with my own hands. Remember this. When I remove someone, it's not rejection, it's redirection. It's me saying, "There's more ahead. Trust me." And yes, I know it hurts. I know how it feels to lose someone who once meant everything. But pain is not the end, it's the beginning of transformation. You cannot carry everyone into your next season. Some souls are not equipped for the altitude I'm taking you to. They'll get dizzy where you're going. They'll get uncomfortable in the purity I'm calling you to live in. You prayed for higher ground. And not everyone is meant to climb that high. I didn't remove them to punish you. I removed them because their presence was delaying your purpose. Some of them didn't truly love you. They loved the version of you that served them. They stayed as long as they benefited. And when the benefit ended, so did their loyalty. But I saw that coming, long before you did. And I couldn't allow you to build your worth around unstable hearts. So I let them walk. And when they walked away, I walked closer. Every season of isolation you felt wasn't abandonment, it was preparation. I was stripping away distractions, so I could reveal what's inside you. I was teaching you to hear my voice again, not through others, but directly. I was showing you that your peace is not dependent on people, but on presence, my presence. You asked me to make you stronger. But strength doesn't come through comfort, it comes through breaking, through loss, through learning to stand alone, knowing you are never truly alone. So I let you face those nights of silence, those mornings where your pillow was soaked with tears, those moments when you felt unseen. Because that's where you discovered that my love never leaves. Do you know what I saw while you cried? I saw the beginning of your healing. I saw the seed of a new version of you. The one that doesn't beg for attention but walks in purpose. When they left, I didn't just take something from you. I was making room for something within you. A deeper faith. A steadier heart. A clearer vision. You thought it was the end of your story. But it was only the end of a chapter. And the next one begins with you healed, whole, and ready. You will meet people again, but this time, they'll recognize your value. They won't compete with your calling, they'll complement it. They won't drain your spirit, they'll water it. They won't make you question your worth, they'll remind you of it. That's why I had to remove the counterfeit. So you could receive the genuine. You keep asking, Lord, why does it always end the same way? And I say, because I won't let you settle for less than what I died to give you. I took them out of your life because I saw what you refused to see. Their inability to grow with you. Their unwillingness to love you like I do. Their hidden envy of your light. You called it rejection, but I called it redirection. You saw loss, but I saw liberation. I know sometimes it feels unfair. You gave so much, you loved so deeply, and yet they left so easily. But my child, I count every tear. I remember every prayer, and I'm turning it all into purpose. The very pain you're feeling now will one day be your testimony. You'll tell others, I didn't understand it then, but God was protecting me, because I was. Every closed door was a shield. Every unanswered call was mercy. Every ending was a beginning in disguise. You think you lost them, but what you really lost was confusion, betrayal, and delay. What you gained was peace, clarity, and destiny. And I know, you still miss them sometimes. You still replay memories in your mind. But memories don't mean mission. Just because it felt real doesn't mean it was meant to last forever. Some people are assignments, not alignments. Once their purpose is fulfilled, the season ends. And that's okay. It's not failure, it's fulfillment. Because you, my child, are still moving forward. Still growing. Still learning to love again, but this time, with wisdom. Don't chase what I removed. Don't reopen what I closed. Don't pray for their return when I've already replaced their role with peace. Trust me. The same hands that took them away are preparing something better. Something that will not leave when things get hard. Something that will lead you closer to me, not away. When the right ones arrive, you won't have to question their loyalty. Their love will feel safe. Their presence will bring peace. Their soul will mirror mine. Until then, rest. You don't have to fight for what's meant for you. You don't have to beg for attention or force connection. Just stay close to me. Because what I remove, I always replace. And what I replace is always greater. Remember this. You are never alone. Even when they left, I stayed. Even when they turned away, I turned toward you. Even when they stopped loving you, I loved you harder. You are not empty, you are being refilled. You are not forgotten, you are being chosen again. You are not behind, you are being realigned. So don't look back, my child. The people I removed were not your loss, they were my gift. Because through every ending, I was writing your new beginning. And this time, it's one where you no longer beg to be understood. Because you finally understand your worth. You will soon see what I was doing all along. How every departure made room for divine arrival. How every goodbye carried a hidden grace be with you. How every why turned into worship. So dry your tears. Breathe again. Walk forward. Because the chapter of loss is closing. And the chapter of purpose is opening. You may not see it yet. But the story isn't over. It's just beginning. And one day, you'll look back and whisper with a peaceful smile. Now I understand why you took them out of my life. My child, you still carry questions in your heart. Even after all this time, you look back and wonder, what if they had stayed? Would things be different? You replay the memories, the laughter, the promises, the moments when you felt seen and known. And you asked me again, softly, Lord, why couldn't it last? Let me tell you something you've yet to understand. Some endings are not failures, they are fulfillments. When a season finishes its purpose, it must close. Because if it stays longer than it should, it begins to rot the very soil that once helped you grow. I saw how that connection began to shift. How what once nourished you started draining you. You kept watering what no longer had roots. And even though your love was pure, their heart was already somewhere else. You tried to fix what I had already released. You prayed for them to come back. While I was preparing someone who would never leave. I didn't take them out of your life to make you lonely. I did it to make you ready. Ready to love without losing yourself. Ready to give without breaking apart. Ready to stand, even when others walk away. You asked me for maturity. You wanted to become the person I called you to be. But growth requires pruning. And pruning always looks like loss at first. I had to cut away what was keeping you small. You didn't know it, but your spirit had outgrown that season. Their presence no longer matched your purpose. They couldn't see what I placed inside you. They were comfortable with who you were, but afraid of who you were becoming. So I stepped in. I pulled them away gently. Even while you screamed, "Don't take them, Lord." But if I had listened to your pain instead of your purpose, you would have never reached the next chapter. I love you too much to answer every prayer the way you want. Sometimes my mercy is hidden in unanswered prayers. You thought I was being silent, but I was busy protecting your destiny. Because you were about to anchor yourself to people who only saw a fraction of your worth. They loved the comfort you gave them, but they couldn't handle the calling you carried. They liked your light, but not the responsibility that came with standing beside it. You are chosen, my child. And being chosen often means being set apart. Isolation is not rejection, it's preparation. When you walk with me, you will often walk away from the crowd. Don't grieve every goodbye. Some are divine separations. Every person removed from your life was part of a greater orchestration, a design you couldn't see yet. I never leave gaps without purpose. Every empty place becomes a doorway for new grace. When they left, it created space for me to dwell deeper. You keep saying you want to know me more, to hear my voice clearly, to live in peace. But how could you hear my whisper while their noise filled your thoughts? You gave them the seat in your heart that only I was meant to occupy. So I removed the distraction, not to wound you, but to wake you. Now, in the stillness, you can finally feel me again. In the quiet, you realize that my presence never left. And slowly, your broken pieces are turning into worship. Do you notice how different your prayers sound now? They're no longer, "Bring them back," but, "Lord, make me whole." That's growth, my beloved. That's what healing looks like. I've seen every night you cried, every memory that replayed in your mind. But I also saw something else. The strength you didn't know you had. You thought their absence would destroy you. But it made you discover yourself. You learned how to stand, how to breathe, how to smile again. And that was me, holding you up when you couldn't hold yourself. Do you remember when everyone walked away, and you felt like no one saw your pain? I was there. I was right beside you, when you whispered into the darkness, "I can't do this anymore." I whispered back, "Yes, you can, because I'm with you." And you made it through. Not because they stayed, but because I did. The pain that was supposed to break you became the proof that you are unbreakable with me. Every time your heart cracked, light entered my light. You see, child, I never waste pain. I turn it into preparation. Every tear watered the soil of your next blessing. Every heartbreak carved space for deeper compassion. You are not behind. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. In the middle of becoming. The ones who left were not your destiny. They were your doorway. Through them, I taught you patience, boundaries, forgiveness. Through them, I showed you how to love without losing your soul. And now you're stepping into a new season. One where peace feels natural. Where love feels safe. Where joy doesn't come and go with people's presence. Because your joy now comes from me. When you meet new people, don't compare them to the ones who left. Don't guard your heart out of fear. Guard it with wisdom, not walls. You've learned discernment now. You know how to recognize the difference between temporary affection and eternal alignment. You'll feel it. When the right ones arrive, it won't feel like anxiety. It will feel like home. But before I send them, I need you to love yourself the way I've always loved you. To see what I see when I look at you. A masterpiece still being painted. A soul worth every sacrifice. Stop apologizing for outgrowing people. You are not arrogant, you are awakening. You are shedding old versions of yourself to make room for purpose. Not everyone can handle the weight of your calling. Some left because they couldn't breathe the same altitude. And that's okay. Bless them and release them. Your journey is yours alone. And I will send the right companions when the time is right. Until then, walk with me. Talk with me. Let me fill the spaces they left empty. Because no human love will ever compare to mine. No voice will ever sound as comforting. No embrace will ever feel as safe. I know you miss them sometimes. The laughter, the moments, the dreams you shared. But my child, sometimes you have to let dreams die. So I can resurrect better ones. The version of your future you imagined with them was too small for what I'm preparing. You settled for good. But I was shaping you for greatness. When I took them out, I wasn't ending your story. I was editing it. And every edit brings perfection closer. Don't fear the empty chapters. That's where faith is written. That's where I reveal myself most clearly. Do you know what happens when you finally surrender? You stop trying to control outcomes and start trusting promises. You stop chasing what left and start walking toward what's next. And what's next, my child, is more beautiful than you've imagined. Soon you'll meet people who mirror my heart. They'll love you without conditions. They'll understand your silence. They'll pray for you when you're weary. They'll speak life into your dreams. They'll stay, not because they need something, but because I sent them. You won't have to beg them to see your worth. They'll recognize it instantly, because they'll have eyes trained by grace. That's the gift of waiting. That's the blessing of loss. It refines your vision. It prepares your spirit to recognize true love when it arrives. You once asked me, "Lord, why does it always end before it begins?" And I said, "Because you kept choosing people who were lessons, not lifetimes." But you've learned now. You've grown. You no longer need validation from temporary souls. You're learning to walk in quiet confidence. The kind that doesn't need to prove, only to be. The world may not understand your transformation. Some will say you've changed. And they'll be right. Because healing always changes you. You can't meet me and stay the same. Your silence is sacred now. Your peace is protected. Your boundaries are holy ground. The ones who left made room for this version of you. The one who prays before reacting. The one who forgives before forgetting. The one who knows that loss is not the opposite of love, but sometimes the proof of it. Because love doesn't always mean holding on. Sometimes it means letting go with grace. You loved them well, and that was enough. Don't regret the love you gave. Every ounce of it returns to you multiplied, in ways you can't yet see. When I said, why I took them out of your life, I didn't mean forever. Some might return when both hearts are ready. Others were never meant to. Either way, trust my timing. If they are part of your destiny, nothing will keep them away. If they aren't, nothing will make them stay. Your only task is to remain in me. To trust that I am writing your story with love, not with loss. The next season will surprise you. The peace that once felt distant will become your daily companion. You'll laugh again, freely, loudly, without the weight of the past on your shoulders. And when you do, you'll finally understand that every tear was worth it. Every goodbye was necessary. Every removal was redemption. Because I never take without giving more. I never close without planning a greater opening. I never end without already beginning anew. So hold your head high, my child. Walk with confidence, not confusion. Those who left did not take your value with them. They only took their absence. But your worth remains untouched. Your calling remains alive. And your future remains radiant. One day soon, you'll stand in a place so peaceful. You'll barely recognize the person who once cried over loss. And you'll smile, not with bitterness, but with gratitude. Because you'll see what I saw all along. That what you thought was breaking you was really building you. Every moment you thought I was silent, I was writing. Every moment you thought I was gone, I was guiding. Every moment you thought it was over, I was beginning again. So keep walking. Keep trusting. Keep believing that nothing you lost was wasted. I'm still the same Jesus who loves without condition, who restores what's broken, who turns endings into eternity. And one day, when you stand in the fullness of my promise, you'll look back with tears of joy and say, now I see, Lord, you never took anything away. You only gave me everything I truly needed. My child, you still wonder sometimes if you could have done more. If maybe, somehow, you could have loved them better, spoken differently, held on a little longer. But I need you to understand. You were never meant to save them. That was never your burden to carry. You were meant to love them, yes, but not lose yourself trying to fix what only I can heal. You see, some hearts are not ready to receive the kind of love you give. They crave your light. But when it shines too brightly, they hide in the shadows of their own fears. It's not that you were too much. It's that they weren't prepared for truth wrapped in tenderness. You keep asking me, why do I love people who don't stay? And I say, because your heart reflects mine. I love billions who still turn away. Yet I keep loving. Because love is not measured by who stays, but by who chooses to love anyway. That's what I've been teaching you. To love without attachment. To give without expectation. To release without resentment. You don't lose by loving. You only lose by holding on after I've said it's time to let go. The ones who left did not waste your love. They revealed your capacity to love deeply. That's something to celebrate, not regret. Because now you love with understanding. Now your compassion has roots. Now you know what it means to be patient with those still learning how to heal. This is how I shape hearts like mine. Through heartbreak. Through surrender. Through quiet strength. The pain didn't come to destroy you. It came to refine you. Every time you broke, something false fell away. Your need for approval. Your desire for control. Your fear of being alone. Now you're learning that solitude isn't punishment. It's sacred space. It's where I rebuild what others unknowingly tore down. You no longer need validation to feel valuable. You no longer chase love to feel complete. Because you've realized the love you were searching for was already living inside you. waiting for you to slow down enough to see it. That's what I wanted all along. Not to take something from you, but to lead you back to yourself. The version of you that walks in peace, that prays without fear, that trusts even when the outcome is unseen. I'm proud of you. You don't see it, but heaven does. You chose healing when bitterness was easier. You chose faith when doubt was louder. You chose forgiveness when revenge called your name. And every time you chose love, you chose me. You are not forgotten, my child. The waiting is not punishment, it's alignment. I'm aligning people, places, and timing in ways you can't yet imagine. If I sent the right person too soon, you'd both miss the lesson. So I'm perfecting both hearts before the divine meeting. Patience is not delay, it's preparation. The right one will come when both of your wounds have become wisdom. Until then, don't rush the process. The soil of your soul is still being watered by grace. The fruits of peace, joy, and love are beginning to bloom where sorrow once lived. When you look back soon, you'll see that I didn't just take people out of your life. I took pain out of your heart. I removed dependency and replaced it with divine strength. I exchanged confusion for clarity, fear for faith, loss for legacy. Every story that ended made room for one that never will. So stand tall, walk in peace. Lift your eyes again, my child. The same God who took them out is now sending blessings in. Blessings that will not betray you, love that will not fade, friendships that will not fail. I am doing a new thing, and this time, no one will have to leave for you to find peace. Because your peace will no longer depend on who stays. It will live in the unshakable truth that I always do, and when that truth finally settles in your spirit, you'll smile, look toward heaven, and whisper, "Thank you, Jesus. Now I understand everything you were protecting me from."